Now we find all these people, these elitists, you see, are all Masons, and the daughters of Masons, Eastern Stars, who are giving you this Hindu-Masonic religion of theirs, of evolution, to the next great leap forward. They're not hypocrites. They really believe their religion and that they have the right, being ascended over others, ascended masters, to dictate the direction that everyone else should go in society. Of course, they keep us, as the profane, they call them, those in the darkness, because, well, we just can't handle truth, you see, and we're too stupid to handle truth, and we couldn't make the proper decisions for ourselves, so they treat us kindly like good shepherds and make all the decisions for us. Mikhail Gorbachev, who was the head of the KGB in the Soviet Union, you know, those nice guys in the black outfits that used to kidnap people at night from their houses and torture them and kill them, and then became president of the Soviet Union, and then was picked by Maggie Thatcher to come over to London, where the press agreed not to ask him any nasty questions about his politics. They only talked about his new blue suits, etc., very trendy man, and his wife's hairdos. His wife at the time explained that you could get a free facelift if you walked into a clinic in any Russian street, you see. It was just a wonderland over there, and you had abortion on demand. They couldn't give you the pill. That cost money, but you get an abortion in 5 minutes. That's called efficiency under the communist system for the ordinary people. So Mikhail Gorbachev, who was eventually knighted by the Queen and became a Knight of Lazarus, which wears the Temper Cross, only it's a green cross. That's his function, is to side with Maurice Strong and push the Earth Charter, etc. He wrote a book, or at least he had it written for him. It's called Mikhail Gorbachev, The Search for a New Beginning, subtitled Developing a New Civilization. And he said, the greening of politics, and that's where the Green Party, you see, it was started in the Soviet bloc, the Green Party. And in fact, it was started up by a right-hand man of Stalin. His daughter or granddaughter took it over and brought it to Europe. The greening of politics is an affirmation of the priority of values common to humanity, enriching education and upbringing with ecological content from childhood onward, and developing a new and modern attitude towards nature. At the same time, the greening of politics is the return to humankind of the awareness of humanity as a part of nature. Now that rings a bell if you've read the Biodiversity Treaty, where you have no more rights than an ant. In fact, they have more rights than you do. The moral improvement of society and the maturation of civilization is inconceivable without this. Michael goes on elsewhere to talk about the choices facing humankind. Today, humankind is facing a choice. It's time for every individual, nation, and state to rethink its place and role in the world affairs. We need an intellectual breakthrough into a new dimension. This is the great leap forward of Masonry once again. And that means the state of the human spirit that assumes paramount importance. The roles of culture, religion, science, and education must grow enormously. The responsibility of the centers for humanity's intellectual, scientific, and religious development is immense and must be given preeminence. And it sure has, because we didn't have any say in the thing at all. The future of human society will not be defined in terms of capitalism versus socialism. It was that dichotomy that caused the division between the world community into two blocks and brought about so many catastrophic consequences. We need to find a paradigm that will integrate all the achievements of let me see, turn over the pages, stick them together here, of the human mind and human action, irrespective of which ideology or political movement can be credited with them. This is the coming together of the heads and the tails of the coin, because they're both run by the same money men, you see. This paradigm can only be based on the common values that humankind has developed over many centuries. The search for a new paradigm should be a search for synthesis. So you had the thesis, you see, capitalism, the antithesis of communism, and here's the synthesis for what is common to and unites people, countries, and nations, rather than what divides them. The search for such a synthesis can succeed conditions are met. First of all, we must return to the well-known human values that are embodied in the ideals of the world religions and also in the socialist ideas that inherited much from those values. He means the Fabian society. Further, we need to search for a new paradigm of development that is based on those values and that is capable of leading us towards a generally humanistic, now remember that word, humanistic, or more precisely, humanistic ecological culture of living. So humanism, of course, believes that man is God because there's nothing else. So that the most advanced intellectually have the right to rule over those less advanced. And ecology, of course, is to do with the planet and economy as well, all lumped into one. A scientific socialism is what he's talking about. He's reiterating the very values that Bertrand Russell, H.G. Wells, and all the rest of the Fabian Society were spouting out back in the 1800s, and still do, actually. Their descendants still run the Fabian Society today. And he said, too, here that, this is Gorbachev, the philosophy of the 21st century must be grounded in a philosophy of diversity. We've heard that before. If life is such as the highest value, then even more precious is the singular identity of every nation and every race as a unique creation of nature and human history. At the same time, we must begin to define certain moral maxims or ethical commandments that constitute values common to all humankind. Well, you'll notice that the UN has its own version of the commandments in place, and anyone can go on the website and see them. He goes on about the fact that we must create a new religion which is based on earth worship. You see, earth worship. This, of course, will eventually, these are my words, but it's from the book, it's the reading between the lines. Earth worship takes you into a controlled society, just like family planning, only it's global planning, and worshipping the earth. You'll have a dumbed-down population who probably can't read or write down the future, and they'll be given a religion where they'll either have themselves voluntarily sterilized to save Mother Earth, of course, and to make sure there's no mouths that are surplus, that need feeding, and of course so that the elite won't have to bother with the ramifications of discontented, starving people. So yes, this is the same agenda. Michael Gorbachev with his Presidio down in the States there, where he runs this green movement from. It's all part of the Maurice Strong's movement, and Maurice, of course, was picked by the Rockefellers, who are part of the same version of the Fabian Society of London, intermixed with the Royal Institute of International Affairs. The American branch is the Council on Foreign Relations, and we are being managed just like animals, and they're breeding us up, breeding us down, dumbing us down for sure at the moment, and they intend to cull us down to a manageable size, and then clone different types for specific functions in the near future. That way they won't need the media, sports to entertain us, and then we won't be wasteful of all the toys which we reward ourselves, all these little cheap things from China which don't last very long. This is the basic system which is running our world, and you and I and the public have absolutely no say in this agenda whatsoever.
I think even that does not describe why the world has changed so much and why the world has turned so much toward a new world order and a new kind of civilization.